I feel like back in like 2019/2020, the Sigma 16mm f1.2 for APS-C was possibly one of the most popular lenses for content creators. When I had my Canon M50, I wanted that lens so bad. I couldn't get myself to pull the trigger on it. It was a little bit more than I was comfortable with spending, especially with the fact that I wasn't working professionally yet. Fast forward to 2024, and then this beauty of lens comes out. The Sirui Sniper 16mm f1.2. Now this is without a doubt the direct competitor, or maybe better yet, the spiritual successor to that Sigma lens. Now typically in a lot of situations, 16mm wouldn't really be the ideal focal length to use in a lot of cases, but when you put it on an APS-C camera, it becomes a 24mm lens, which is a fantastic focal length to use. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about this lens. I've had it for a few months now, so I'm really starting to find where its strengths and weaknesses lie. Hey, side note real quick, apparently Sirui has been under a little bit of heat for asking creators to not disclose when they've been receiving these free products from them. Just wanted to be known for this video that I did purchase this lens with my own money. I actually even bought it used. So just a heads up, you can continue on with the video now. To start, we have to talk about the build quality. The one thing I really love about Sirui is that they put a lot of time and care and attention and love into like every single product they make, and this, like, for the most part, kind of cheap lens is no exception. So you have a metal and carbon fiber body that feels incredibly solid, has a really good weight to it, but then also the focus ring on here, it's incredibly smooth, feels like a cinema lens focus ring, and gives you some very satisfying focus pulls. And then of course the biggest and coolest feature about this lens is its f1.2 aperture, which allows for incredibly good low light performance. So I'm using this with my Sony FX30, and it is an absolutely perfect pairing. Especially if you shoot a lot of weddings, you know that you're gonna run into a ton of low light situations, whether it's in the bridal suites, the groom suites, or especially when you get to receptions. And even more so when you get to outdoor receptions that are happening at night. So when it comes to its exposure, you get extremely good low light performance. So let's go ahead and talk about the only true weakness I've found with this lens, and it kind of seems to be the case across this entire Sniper lineup. It's autofocus performance at f1.2. Now admittedly, f1.2, even on a 16mm lens, is a very, very shallow aperture. You don't even have to shoot at that all the time, so it's not really a surprise that a third-party lens, even on a system like Sony, is going to have a few issues with autofocus. All right, so this is at f1.2. I just kind of autofocus test, so you can kind of see how well it keeps up with me as I'm whipping my head around here, and we'll turn around backwards, and turn around back forward. And like I said, this is the Sony FX30 right here, so it itself has really good autofocus. It's just the lens at f1.2 can struggle to keep up a little bit. Now let's change it to f1.4 and see how the difference is. So now we're at f1.4, and whip my head in real fast, whip my hair back and forth if I had any, turn around backwards here, and back to right here, put my hand in front of the camera, see how fast it whips over. Nope. Not gonna catch my hand. Not gonna catch my hand. Ah, there it goes. Catch my hand, and back to me. Catch my hand, and back to me. So here's a quick example of how this lens will pulse a little bit. You can kind of keep a watch on these bokeh balls back here from these twinkle lights. This is the lens at f1.2, and it's just the autofocus just trying to keep up the best it can, but especially as I move my head around, you'll probably see a tiny bit of pulsing back there. I don't know if you can or not, but hopefully the lens acts like it normally does and it pulses. The biggest thing is that whenever you consider the $400 price tag of this lens, and a lot cheaper if you buy it used, because I bought mine used off MPB for like 250 bucks. It performs incredibly well, and that autofocus performance at f1.2 is the only complaint that I can come up with, which is pretty insane. So the biggest question is, who is this lens for? Because one handicap that it does have is the fact that it's only an APS-C lens. So you're never gonna get a true 16mm focal length, so it's not gonna be great for every single type of videographer out there. Like I said, for my use case with weddings and doing client work, this lens has been so perfect. Not only because of the fast aperture, but also because of that 24mm equivalent. Like, it's just wide enough to capture the overall scene, but without things getting all warpy and distorted. But considering that crop factor though, if you're someone that shoots a lot of real estate, I would say pass on this lens. But beyond those two, if you're a content creator or a live streamer and you're looking for just something much better than the kit lens to put on your camera, I do think this could be the absolute perfect option for you. You get great separation, and you don't need powerful lights at all to be able to use this. Like, I run most of my lights at like 10% when I'm using this lens. Anyways, if you have any questions, make sure you let me know down below, and make sure you click the links if you want to pick up a lens for yourself. Have a good day.